were beaten last time out, lost 3-2 at home to Newcastle, and in fact they have just the 1 point from the 6 games played so far this season, but that's how things stand on paper. The game isn't played on paper, it's played out there on the pitch. So we are underway with Palace kicking from right to left here in this first half. Down to the left of the picture is where they'll be hoping the large majority of the action is in this first 45. Forward down the right flank there for Sebastian Williams. The skipper chops back onto his left foot. Now Henry. Liverpool, as you can see in their change strip today. The referee gives an early free kick. It did look a foul. And it's in a good position this for Palace as well, right on the edge of the penalty area. Two stand behind it then for the hosts. It's either going to be the right of Dashi or the left of Freddie Cowan. He started this season in such fine form. Leads the way in terms of the assists so far this campaign, Freddie Cowan. 4 assists in 5 games played. Will it be him to deliver here? No, it's left for the right of Jesse Derry. It was in the end who took that on rather than Dashi, I beg your pardon. Derry, who's also a man who's been in red-hot form at the start of the season. 8 goals in 7 games. Not afraid to shoot for goal there early on. Corner here comes as a result of the deflected free kick. It will be Cowan's delivery this time towards that near post area, but it's turned away with the first contact met by the Liverpool defender at the near post. All Palace possession so far in the opening couple of minutes though. Walker-Smith then loses possession. Trying to drive forwards was Schofield-Lameni for Liverpool, the number 11. Operating on this near right flank. It was a decent recovery to put the ball into touch. Lameni back to Enahoro Marcus in the heart of the Liverpool defence today, alongside the skipper, Lucas Pitt. It's out of play over on the far side, and Palace get us going again. Cowan with a heavy touch, not what he'd intended. Now Lameni. Not what he was after either. Presented the ball straight back to Derry. Derry wins his team the throw. This meeting this morning between the two academies, of course, kind of the build-up card to the big one later between the two first teams. 12:30, the kick-off between these two clubs. Palace hosting Liverpool in the Premier League. All eyes for the time being on this meeting between the academies. Palace's under-21s team will also be in action later today away at Brighton. Looking forward to being able to bring you that one as well. Dashi pops that one back nicely into the path of Samade. Now Williams. Derry. The switch of play in touch of Williams again. The defender just got there in time. Dashi wins it back. That's onto the right flank here for Mwana to progress. No Jasper Judd today for Palace, the other regularly used option in that right wing back role. Means that Mwana is allowed to advance forwards. Liverpool with the ball here at the moment though. Lameni, can he get a shot away? Goes for goal, but it's a comfortable hold really for Palace shot stopper Marcus Hill. And he'll take those all day long. Forward from Williams. This is promising now for Palace. KC with a couple to aim at in the centre as well if he could have delivered a cross. Keeps possession instead. Williams wanted it played his way. Too much contact there from the Liverpool number 3, Clay Ewing. Another opportunity then for Palace to load the penalty area and send some of the big men forwards from the back. Cohen's delivery looks a good one, bounces all the way through and it's in. Not sure whether there was a touch on it or not. It looks as though it's Walker-Smith who takes the congratulations from his teammates, but it's Palace who have themselves ahead inside the opening 6 minutes. And it's a perfect start here for them here this morning. Liverpool just caught cold from that Freddie Cowan delivery. And Walker-Smith taking the congratulations. He certainly seemed to be claiming it. Either way, with a touch or not, it's Palace who are ahead by a goal to nil. As the music continues to play here in South London as well, Palace get their noses in front. Such a testing, teasing ball into the danger zone, wasn't it, from the left back? Across onto that right wing to take the set piece. And with good reason as well. It looks as though it's going to go down as another assist for him this season. Mentioned how prolific he's been at the start of the campaign. It seems as though that's his 5th assist of the season, if indeed there was a touch on it from Walker-Smith. They were queuing up really towards the back post to get the all-important touch. So difficult for a goalkeeper in that circumstance as well. Bailey Hall not able to commit to diving one way or the other before seeing if there is a significant touch from one of the Palace players. Great start to the game for Rob Quinn's side. And it comes before Liverpool have really been able to create themselves an opportunity, but they're on the attack here. Ahmed wanted it back centrally. Sonny Lambie couldn't feed it back to him. Williams trying to start the counter. And Enahoro Marcus across there to put a stop to that. In fact, it will be a Liverpool throw-in as well. So Palace with the throw-in now then. 8.5 minutes on the clock. They lead by 1-0. Charlie Walker-Smith with the goal from Freddie Cowan's dead ball delivery. And George King there takes the free kick and the ball is back in play again. Neatly done by Walker-Smith, the goal scorer. Now Cowan. Up to Derry. What can he do? The opportunity to drive at the defender off this left flank from where he so commonly operates and so frequently causes opposition teams so many problems. It's another Palace free kick for the foul then again on Williams. Much more central this time than the prior two free kick opportunities. Certainly wouldn't be surprised if Derry goes for goal from here. He's already had one effort from the slightly wider free kick. This one a little bit further out, but centrally positioned, and Derry does go for goal. Got it up, but didn't get it down in time. And goalkeeper Bailey Hall was comfortable in seeing that one clear his crossbar. 10 minutes played. Walker Smith's goal, the difference between the teams at this point, but it has really been almost one-way traffic in Palace's favour so far. Really promising, positive start to the game for them. Karen with the throw-in back to Walker Smith. It's a little bit loose from Hill. He's giving it away, in fact, as well. Here's Bradshaw. Across to Ahmed, who gets the shot away. That will be a Liverpool corner. Came about as a result of the misplaced pass forward from Palace goalkeeper. And the danger not yet fully clear, because Palace are still going to have to defend this corner. First little sign, really, of the visitors threatening the home team's goal. Can Palace defend this then? It's a decent looking delivery. Hill going some way to making amends for giving the ball away to begin with a clean punch away there off the corner. Now Pitt doesn't usually find himself in that sort of position. The centre-back on the right wing. Played it back to Lameni, who filled in for him. Those two switching positions back to their more regular operating roles now. O'Connor, better this spell at the moment for the visitors. Set back by Derry, and Hill took charge. Pitt tried to take it on the chest, but it was a heavy touch. Here's Cowan now with space to advance into as well. Has the run of Casey in the centre. With his head down though, just trying to get the ball out of his feet, I think, to better position himself to deliver. Never seemed to really have full control of the ball, did he, despite the space that was in front of him. Disappointing one there for the attacking left back. What will be promising though, and a positive sign again, is just how much space there was there for him. Had he better exploited it. Liverpool certainly not shutting down those spaces so far. Williams with the delivery. It's underway by Pitt. Out it bounces for the throw-in. Samade back to Hill. Long diagonal switch of play, really well executed in fact from the goalkeeper, but Derry couldn't quite bring it under control. Now Ewing. Forward down that left channel. He's going to get there as well here, Sonny Lambie. Sonny Lambie just looked up, assessed his options, keeps possession. Foul then from George King. Kareem Ahmed, it was on the receiving end of that. Liverpool to set this free kick up again there. Ewing to deliver, not quite what he was after though, I don't think, with such a low delivery into the penalty area. Now Ayman, back to Ewing again. O'Connor. Pitt. Certainly settled, haven't they now though? the visitors since what was such a one-way traffic start for Palace early on, and that's when they got their goal as well. I think Mark Wilkinson, the Liverpool boss, will be more so pleased with the response from his team, though. Lovely day for it, by the way, this morning here in South London. It's pretty much perfect conditions for football. Flicked on there off the top of the head of Derry, and that's another free kick. That's been a little bit stop-start in that regard, with the referee having to give a fair few fouls in the opening quarter of an hour, but in between, the game's being played at a good pace when the ball's in play. Cowan that time happy to just go back to Samade and build again. Trying to feed one through there, Zach Henry. Casey goes to ground and the referee points for a penalty. Palace with the opportunity then to double their advantage. Benjamin Casey winning the spot kick. Didn't seem to be too much doubt in the mind of the referee as Casey was fouled right on the edge of the penalty area, but certainly inside it. It's a golden opportunity now then for Palace to put themselves two in front, and who else but Jesse Derry to take it. Can he add himself yet another goal this season? Derry up against goalkeeper Bailey Hall. Derry takes it right-footed and scores. Of course he does. Jesse Derry with his 9th of the season now. And Palace move 2 to the good here with just over a quarter of an hour played. Certainly deserving of it as well. Taken with such conviction, never looked like he was going to miss. Celebrates in style in front of the camera, down there to the left of the picture as well. Jesse Derry just can't be stopped at the moment. And Liverpool have it all to do if they are to get back into this contest. Mentioned earlier that the visitors haven't really had it their way so far this season, and 2-0 down inside 20 minutes. It's a very difficult ask for them, isn't it, to claw themselves back into the contest against such a quality Palace team as well. All given away there by the goalkeeper. Derry will go for goal again. It's over the goalkeeper, but over the bar that time. So close to a second goal in less than 2 minutes there for Jesse Derry. I'm sure his eyes must have lit up as he was presented possession, but a little bit like his free kick earlier. Got it up enough, got enough height on it. Just couldn't quite get it down in time. Clears the goalkeeper's crossbar. So many positive signs though here for Palace in the opening exchanges. Coming into this game off the back of 2 defeats. Looking to bounce back, having won the 2 games prior to that. They're certainly on track to do so. Taken short there to Zach Henry. It's great to see him back playing, isn't it? Had more than a year on the sidelines through a long-term injury. Back out there enjoying his football once more. Met there by Joshua Mwana with the first contact on the Long ball forwards from the back for Liverpool. Cohen's header. Wants it back as well and gets it. Now to Derry. Those two so often link up so well down this left wing. Derry again, delivers with his left that time, just too high for the jump of Casey. Now Moana did well to retrieve the slightly overcooked delivery. Ahmed sets it backwards. Liverpool look to maintain possession. Nicely taken on the turn there by Ahmed. He seems a bright spark in the visiting team so far, despite the difficult start that they've endured, and the offside flag there goes up against Joe Bradshaw. Hence the referee's whistle. No trouble there for the Palace defence. These two teams did meet in this tournament last year. In actual fact, of course, it's not common that a team from the south plays a team from the north in the under-18s format, not in the league, of course, but the way in which the cup competition works. This fixture was thrown up last season as well. Palace won it by 6-1. Hat-trick from Zach Henry that day. Zach Marsh, I beg your pardon, with a hat-trick that day, and goals too from Jesse Derry, Hindaloa Mustafa and George King. Williams in firmly again, cut out then by Henry. Here's Lemeni. Good challenge to dispossess him. And Ahoro Marcus. I think Palace will be comfortable with Liverpool having possession in these sorts of areas, but on the other side of the coin, Liverpool themselves probably just content with keeping possession and in doing so, keeping Palace at bay. Advancing forward now, the visitors down the left wing. Cutting inside onto his right and getting the shot away, and it's in. And it's not one that goalkeeper Marcus Hill will want to see back. Clay Ewing with the effort off his less favoured right foot, but Hill couldn't keep it out. And against all odds, Liverpool are right back in this. It's 2-1 now. Bradshaw following it in as well, got the touch on the goal line, but I think it had already fully crossed the line prior to that. Clay Ewing pulls one back for Liverpool. Didn't seem likely, did it? I was just mentioning how the visitors were probably happy with just keeping possession for a moment and keeping Palace out, but it turned into something so much more for them. With their first shot on target, Marcus Hill was beaten. As I say, not one that the Palace goalkeeper will want to see the replay of. No need to panic, of course, for Palace. They've been the better team so far, still leading the game as well. But there's a long way to go. Sometimes come full time, you look back on moments like that, an error, a mistake from the goalkeeper, and perhaps it can change the course of the game. Palace will certainly hope not. Switch of play there in search of Sonny Lambie. Can he get there to keep it in? He can. Back it goes to Ayman. Delivers left-footed. Header out from Walker-Smith to the edge of the penalty area for Lemeni. And then side-footed with a cross-come shot, really. Turned out to be neither in the end from Joe Bradshaw. Not sure whether that was meant as an effort on goal or if he was just trying to put the ball into a dangerous area. Just serves as a reminder, though, doesn't it, as to how quickly games that seem, at one stage, so comfortable can change so quickly. Not what Hill was intending that time either. Runs all the way through there for the goal kick. Hill will just look to settle back down following that Liverpool goal, and then the misplaced pass as well from him just a moment ago, and perhaps sensibly we'll look to just clear this one long up towards halfway. The more pragmatic option rather than trying to play out from the back. It's a better ball forward from him there up to the halfway line. The foul on Zach Henry. Williams into King. Just stabbed it forwards, but not quite on the same wavelength as any of his teammates that time. Then put into touch, out of play over on the far side. Throw in there, taken into the chest of the lively Karim Ahmed. He's dispossessed that time though. Slipped through for Casey. Is the flag being raised? It has. Looked a very tight call. Goalkeeper Bailey Hall did really well, in fairness, to keep it out anyway. Wouldn't have counted, but not sure Casey was aware that the flag had been raised. Always looking to try and play on the shoulder of that back line, Benjamin Casey. Just a little bit over eager to get in behind that time, and just went a split second too early. Clipped forward down that left channel for Liverpool, but it's dealt with by the Palace defence. Back to Hill. Hasn't been ever present in goal this season. Palace without Billy Eastwood today, who has played a couple of times in the games against Reading and Fulham. But Marcus Hill does play the majority of minutes between the sticks for the Palace under-18s team. Warner in field, but couldn't find a teammate. Clipped out onto this right wing now for DJ Airsdale. And the switch of play then from Pitts. Moana goes to ground, so too the Liverpool man over on that far side as well. It was Alvin Amon, but he's back to his feet now. Just coming together, nothing more between the two players. Ahmed. Now Ayman. Certainly a better spell of possession for Liverpool since they got the goal back. Seems to have breathed a fresh sense of confidence into them. Offside again there against Benjamin Casey. Seemed more so a straightforward call, I think, that time for the referee's assistant. First one looked very tight, that one perhaps less so. Approaching the half-hour mark here at the Crystal Palace training ground. 2-1 to the home team. Liverpool looking to change that now. Here's Sonny Lambie into the penalty area, cuts it back into a dangerous area, and arriving was Karim Ahmed. Vital touch off Palace defender as well to turn it behind for the corner. I think it was Sean Samade with the final touch. Crucial from the Palace defender, who positioned himself really well there. Ahmed takes the corner, header out, finds Derry. He clears up towards halfway, but Casey was again hoping for it to be played more aerially, more height on it in behind the defence. Sonny Lambie. Forward here to Ayman. Trying to link up with the goal scorer, Clay Ewing. Seems in a similar sort of way to the Palace left back, Freddie Cowan, to be a very forward-thinking, attack-minded player. Clay Ewing in that same role over on the far side for Liverpool. Wasn't afraid to shoot when the chance came his way to do so on his less favoured right foot. Still, nonetheless, though, I don't think that Marcus Hill will need telling at all that he should have kept that one out. Throw-in taken there to Williams, who sent it forwards first time, hooked away then by Ewing. Walker-Smith under a little bit of pressure with two Liverpool players close to him. Palace lose the ball eventually, and this is promising now for the visitors, but the flow of the attack is quickly stopped by the flag being raised again. Towering header from the Liverpool defender. There's Esdale. That's onto the right wing as well here for Bradshaw, progressing dangerously for the Palace defence, and it's a crucial piece of defending then from George King to get back and slide in to get his toe to the cutback. Excellent defending, wasn't it, from George King to read the danger there. Certainly Liverpool beginning to turn the screw, though, and turn the pendulum of momentum for the game as well in their favour. The warning signs are there now for the Palace defence. Derry. Now, Palace would love to get themselves back 2 goals to the good. Goes to ground there, Derry, but no real appeal for a penalty that time. Referee just wants a word or two here with a couple of players by the looks of things. We're going to restart with a drop ball there for Liverpool. Back to the captain, Pitt. Good to go again to get the game back underway. Ahmed. Now Lemeni. What can he do from this position? To the penalty area and still going Lemeni. Better held on to that time, despite the deflection en route through as well for goalkeeper Hill. Comfortable collection there for him. Offside flag up again against Casey. 3 times now that the number 9's just gone a little bit too soon. I suppose you have to give credit to the Liverpool defence for that as well, holding the line well and teasing Casey to make the run in behind like that. Throw and taken back to Sean Samade. Oh, it's a little bit short, but does go back to Hill. Just thought for a split second that Bradshaw was going to be able to apply a little bit more intense pressure on the goalkeeper, but did find its way back to Hill. Williams. Now Cowan. Good tackle in the eyes of the referee. Bradshaw's allowed to advance. Stabs it forward as well with the outside of his right foot. Opportunity here for Liverpool, and it's taken. Lovely finish from Schofield Lemeni, in fairness. And Liverpool, having been 2 goals behind, have themselves back on level terms. It's not been the continuation of the excellent start to the game that Palace made. Caught at 6s and 7s at the back there, and Schofield Lemeni with a composed finish when the opportunity came his way. Back on level terms, and who'd have thought it? When Palace were 2 to the good, it looked as though things were also rosy for them. But Mark Bridge-Wilkinson, the Liverpool boss, will be delighted with the response that his team have made. And with 36 minutes on the clock, it's Palace 2, Liverpool 2. Wow, well, Palace with it all to do again then. From a defensive point of view, it just seemed as though there was far too much space there in the Palace back line. No foul given for the initial challenge, which won the ball back for Liverpool. Palace may have questions after about that, but certainly wouldn't have expected it to lead to a goal from that position. Yellow card there shown to Ollie O'Connor for a raised boot, I believe, as he was lunging in late to that challenge there. So Ollie O'Connor becoming the first man cautioned today. Now the onus on Palace to respond. Sonny Lambie. Now Lemeni, the latest scorer, goes for goal again. Good save, palmed away. Ahmed's there and it's in. And Liverpool have completed the turnaround. Karim Ahmed with the simplest of finishes in the end on the rebound. It was a good save to start with from Marcus Hill, but none of his defenders reacted quickly enough. And Karim Ahmed adds his name to the score sheet. Lemeni again involved for Liverpool. And Palace are left wondering what's hit them, having been 2 goals up in this first half. They're now the team who trail. Incredible turnaround here in South London. Just look at the expressions on the faces of the Palace players. Utter shock at the moment. They can't quite believe what's happening to them. Karim Ahmed with the goal. And it's Liverpool who lead by 3 goals to 2. Wow, well, who would have seen it coming? Mentioned when it was 2-0 how comfortable Palace seemed. And now, you wonder whether they could just do with getting through to half-time to try and reset from there, but you certainly wouldn't put it past there being another goal before the break. Here's Sonny Lambie. Back to O'Connor. Back to Esdale. O'Connor. Williams wins possession. The referee says play on. Happy with the challenge there, the match official. And still, it's turned into a bit of a rugby scrum in the centre circle. As Williams and Ahoro Marcus both couldn't get back to their feet. Referee couldn't call it one way or the other and just let the game flow. Now Esdale. O'Connor. To the feet of the latest goal scorer, Ahmed. Cowan's clearance away was rushed, and perhaps a moment to highlight just the pressure that Palace now feel under as well, and with good reason, really. Clip towards the back post there from Joe Bradshaw. Goal kick taken short, but Palace really needing to find a response, as I mentioned, whether that's in terms of a goal back before half-time, of course they'd love it to be, or just to get through to the half-time whistle and assess things from there, reassess and try to move forwards, because at the moment it looks as though Liverpool are the most likely to score the next goal if there is to be one before half-time. Heavy touch from Bradshaw, takes it out for the goal kick. Palace have had problems conceding goals this season. It goes all the way back to the opening day of the league season when they lost 6-4 at Tottenham Hotspur. In that middle patch of the story of the season so far, if you like, it seemed to have been eradicated, those defensive problems, but in the last 2 games they conceded 9 across them, and with another 3 conceded in the first 40 minutes here. It certainly seems as though there's still work to do defensively for Rob Quinn to stop conceding so many goals. Cowan's throw-in didn't look likely to reach the run of King. Still battling for it there, though. Too much contact from behind then, though, from the Palace number 6. It's a free kick Liverpool's way. Strong header from Walker-Smith. It seems like such a long time ago since he got the scoring underway. Across the penalty area it goes there, and Casey just couldn't quite reach it. Henry keeps it alive. Back now to Joshua Moana, and Henry with possession again. Better at the moment for Palace. In fairness, it always has been when they've got into the attacking half. It's another reiteration of the fact, though, that in their defensive half of the field, their defensive third, really, is where the major problems lie. We wait to see if the referee will add any time on at the end of the first half as well. You'd probably expect so, despite the fact that we haven't had the need for either team physios to come onto the field in the first half. There have been 5 goals though, 5 goal celebrations. Liverpool looking for another here with Bradshaw. Cuts inside onto his left, and the deflection could really have taken it anywhere. Off Sean Samade, and I thought for a moment it was going to have the goalkeeper beaten. It went well wide in the end. Cowan just struggling a little bit in a defensive sense, despite the attacking threat, which of course we know he possesses. I think Schofield Lemeni just enjoying a little bit too much room of freedom at the moment for Palace's liking, as that's sent high over the goalkeeper's crossbar, and indeed the referee calls time on the first half, so not much added on at all at the end of the first period there. Palace had it going all their own way at one point, led by 2-0. Walker-Smith got things underway early on, and Jesse Derry made it 2 from the penalty spot, but it hasn't continued in that same fashion. Liverpool got a goal back through Clay Ewing when Marcus Hill really should have done better. Schofield Lemeni with the second, and Karim Ahmed completed the turnaround with the third on the rebound from another Lemeni strike. So it's Palace who now have the task in hand in turning the game around themselves in the second half. Don't go anywhere, we'll see if they can do that in the second 45, but at half-time, it's Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 3. And we will soon get this second half off and underway then. No changes by the looks of things, certainly not obviously made at half-time. We are underway as the referee blows his whistle. It goes all the way back to the Liverpool goalkeeper, Bailey Hall. Just a reminder of the two teams' benches for you at the start of the second half. The substitute goalkeeper for Palace is Jack Mason. Then they have Tyler White, Jerome Asai, Joel Drakes Thomas and Kyrese Adams-Coleman to call upon in reserve from the bench. Liverpool with DJ Bernard as the substitute goalkeeper option. Luca Fernell-Gill, Harry Evers, Tyler Martin and Prince Cisse. Some of those, I should say, just beginning to make their way out, as late straggling substitutes sometimes do. Throw in here for Palace, taken by Joshua Moana. Taken forwards down the line. Hooked away then though for Liverpool. Williams, helped on by Dashi. Casey's going to get there as well, driving forward promisingly. Plays it all the way across the penalty area. Derry will pick up the loose ends here though. Sidestepping into the penalty area, cutting inside onto his right foot. Cohen's delivery, and the header there. Is it going to fall in? It's not quite from Zach Henry. So close to a Palace equaliser right at the start of this second half. And Zach Henry couldn't have come much closer with that there. Everybody just waited agonisingly to see where his header would fall. And so unfortunate that it dropped the wrong side of the post. Better start though to the second half. More like the start to the first half that Palace made, really. Before things went pear-shaped for them. Comfortable collection that time for Bailey Hall though in the Liverpool goal. Long he goes with it. Here's Lemeni. Referee gives the foul. Free kick for Palace. Palace advancing down that left wing in towards Dashi with the header. Goal bound again, turned away though by Clay Ewing. Firm challenge, not a fair one in the eyes of the match official from Moana, and in fact the yellow card is going to be shown to the Palace fullback as well. Second player booked today, one from either team now, as he joins Ollie O'Connor in the referee's notebook. Certainly a foul, late challenge, wasn't it? But was protesting his innocence in terms of the yellow card, which was shown to him afterwards. Bradshaw. Here's Sonny Lambie. Now Eamon. Ewing. Took the touch off Zach Henry, and it was kept in play as well by the alert Marcus Hill. Did well to prevent the corner. Moana sends it forwards first time. Casey's charging forwards after that one. Well swept up though by Pitt. Now Ewing has got himself in a little bit of a tangle. Came out with possession. Up to Ahmed. Now Sonny Lambie. With the overlapping run as well from Eamon in support. Sonny Lambie tried to play the pass inside instead. And then concedes the free kick for committing the foul in the aftermath. Long from back to front. Comfortable header then though for Enahoro Marcus. I think Palace looked defensively more stable at the start of the second half. Yes, of course they want to go in search of that equalising goal to turn the momentum back in their favour, but games ebb and flow. And as we know, there's a long time left to go in this game. Long amount of football still to be played. Might just be a case of them building those foundations again at the start of the second half, from which they can then build upon in a more adventurous attacking sense. Free kick here is a long way out. I'd say a little bit further than the most recent dead ball effort on goal from Jesse Derry, but you wouldn't put it past him shooting from here nonetheless. Cohen also an option here, standing behind the free kick, clipped forwards, but well, you could see what was meant there for Palace. It was just a little bit too heavily weighted for George King, who did evade the defence, was completely free, had the ball fell into his path. Inventive from Palace. Not quite rightly executed though. Eamon. Now Ewing. Palace ball. Keen to get the ball back in play quickly as well there, Joshua Moana. Takes his time a little more over this one. Settles things down again, just assesses his options and then throws the ball forward into the feet of Zach Henry. He lost out. Ahmed, the man that got the goal to turn the game around. Here's Eamon. Into the penalty area here now. Liverpool, Bradshaw with the ball back across the 6-yard box. Ewing, silky footwork as he continues and goes to ground, and the referee's pointed for a spot kick. Well, it was Palace themselves who earned themselves a penalty down this same end of the field in the first half, but it's going to be the turn of Liverpool to take a penalty here in the second half. You could almost see it coming, is that fair to say? The threat from Clay Ewing, as I mentioned, was neatly done, silky footwork as he went into the penalty area. I think it was Sean Samade, was it, with the foul, to bring about this opportunity then for Josh Sonny Lambie, the striker, to add Liverpool a fourth. Can Marcus Hill make himself a hero? Sonny Lambie, and Hill's made the save. It's gone some way to making amends for the error in the first half as well. Excellent stop from the Palace goalkeeper. Guessed right, executed the save superbly well. Wasn't quite in the corner from Sonny Lambie, but could that be a turning point in the greater context of the game? Wonderful stop from the Palace number one. All the way to the back post though, and still the danger remains. It's hooked away by Williams. And not quite kept in play there for Liverpool. Big let off for Palace at the start of this second half. And they have their goalkeeper to thank for the fact that, well, they are just still the one goal behind. Certainly any of the blame that may have been placed on him from the first goal they conceded is now forgotten about. Here down the other end is Casey, still going into the box, Casey. And Bailey Hall equal to it, came out smothered the danger, did really well in fairness there, the Liverpool goalkeeper as well. Casey will be sniffing for another opportunity like that. He stayed down here at the moment, which is of course of concern for Palace. Won't want to make the task in hand even harder here. Hopefully nothing too serious for the striker. Didn't quite see what happened to him. I presume it was the coming together with the goalkeeper or the landing from it. So powerful driving through though, wasn't he? So purposeful in the way in which he motored through the Liverpool back line. Everything there for him, apart from that final finishing golden touch. Didn't do much wrong with the finish, I don't think. As I say, was just smothered by Bailey Hall, and sometimes you have to give credit where it's due to the opposition goalkeeper like that. Haven't really seen too much of Kareem Ahmed so far in this second half. The Liverpool danger man from the first 45, I think it's fair to say. Got the goal to make it 3-2 off the back of a double that he scored last week, actually, off the back of a brace in the defeat to Newcastle. He continues his fine goal-scoring form today. And you wonder who Palace will turn to do the same. It's usually Jesse Derry, isn't it, who comes up with the goals at big moments. Already on the score sheet, of course, with his first half penalty. Casey coming close to equalising there. It does feel as though the more that Palace can get the ball into the feet of Casey, or certainly feed him one way or another, whether that be into his feet or in behind the back line, perhaps the more success that they'll enjoy as the game progresses. Really is the danger man when they can get him on the ball as well as Derry from that wide position. In terms of Group G then, in this Under-18 Premier League Cup, just as we wait for the game to get back underway again, I mentioned earlier that Palace won their opening game on match day 1 of the competition, beating Birmingham City by 3-0. Liverpool lost out in an 8-goal thriller to Arsenal, 5-3 the scoreline in that particular clash. So that's how things stood ahead of play today. Arsenal facing off with Birmingham. Things have just got underway actually in that game. But there's not really much room for error in terms of being able to progress through to the last 8, with only the 7 group winners and then the best placed runner-up from those 7 groups. In terms of the points and the goal difference, of course, as the determining factor, making up those quarter-final spots. Not really much room for error, and certainly Palace, you feel can't afford to lose this game. And the good news for Palace is that Benjamin Casey is back to his feet. The slightly concerning news is that he's still moving gingerly. He's still off the side of the field of play at the moment. We'll see if he does make a re-entrance to the game. He has been called back onto the field now by our referee. Turned into a little bit of a substantial stoppage. 2 or 3 minutes. The game was paused for then. Well, really nicely done from Derry, immediately trying to involve Casey again. Here's Zach Henry now, with the offer of a 1v1 in the penalty area as well. The double ricochet means that the final touch came back off the Palace number 7. And unfortunately for him, it's out there for the goal kick. Scoreline aside, context of the game aside, it has been much more like it from Palace at the start of the second half, though. And as I mentioned earlier, just getting back to how they were performing at the start of the first period. Seems far more solid for them from a defensive point of view, which is giving them the foundations to build upon going forwards then. It's too open, wasn't it, at the back end of that first half? They were made to pay the price. Here's Ahmed now. Back to Karim Ahmed again. Out to Alvin Ayman, and the opportunity to shoot here for Ewing. Will the goalkeeper get there? He can't, and it's bundled home. And Liverpool do score again. Right on the stroke of the hour mark, it's Joe Bradshaw with the finish into the roof of the net. And just as I was saying that Palace looked as though they were getting themselves back into the game, Joe Bradshaw doubles the Liverpool lead. 2 goals to the good now of the visiting team, having had the penalty saved earlier on in the half as well. But Joe Bradshaw does now find that 4th Liverpool goal. And the task in hand for Palace has just become doubly difficult if they are to get back into this one. They need 2 goals now without a response. Joe Bradshaw, the latest scorer, as he gets in on the goal-scoring act. Not really the same sort of goal that Palace have been conceding lately. I say that in the sense that it wasn't completely open in their back line, wasn't a case of really being at 6s and 7s. Just a better all-round team goal from the visitors. But still, it is another goal that Liverpool have conceded. That Palace have conceded, I beg your pardon. And there's another opportunity here as it trickles just wide. Palace needing to just settle back down into the game after that. It's a golden opportunity for number 5. 4-2 the scoreboard reads now there. 4 different scorers then for Liverpool today. They'll be pleased with that. Always nice for any team to be sharing the goals around. But it goes to emphasise the threat that Liverpool have all across the field, despite their struggling league position at the moment. It's going their way today in the Cup. Here's O'Connor. Neatly flicked round the corner, and Liverpool come on the attack again here. There's options both sides for the ball carrier, Schofield Lameni. Couldn't pick a pass that he'd intended then, though. Nicely done from Cowan into Williams. Derry's back in his own half at the moment, and Palace could do with him joining this attack, really. Here's Tyler White on off the substitutes bench. Looking to deliver from wide right all the way to the back post, back across then from Benjamin Casey in search of Henry. And it was pounced upon by Bailey Hall. Grateful there, the goalkeeper, I think, that it came his way. 2 balls on the pitch at the moment. Don't think the referee has spotted that, and he's going to allow the game to continue. Did spot it in the end because he put his whistle in his mouth, but didn't stop proceedings. Yeah, confirmation of that latest substitution, and the first for Palace today, with Tyler White coming on to replace Joshua Mwana in the right back role for Rob Quinn. It's a substitution which was made just prior to the latest goal being conceded, actually. I think in that stoppage, when Benjamin Casey was down receiving treatment, and it looks as though another substitution is being readied here at the moment as well. Had just crossed the line, so it's out of play over on the far side for the Liverpool throw-in. Long range all the way back to the goalkeeper. He's going to take his time over collecting that one, trying to catch Bailey Hall out there, but backtrack comfortably. There's the Liverpool goalkeeper, forward down the channel for Sonny Lambie. Better defended against that time by Sean Samade. This latest stoppage in play is going to bring about the opportunity for a couple more substitutions, I believe. We'll see exactly who those coming onto the field here are and who they're going to replace. 65 minutes on the clock. We've already seen today how quickly things can change, so it would be foolish to say that Liverpool have got this one wrapped up and that Palace are completely out of things. One of those changes is going to be for the visitors. It's going to be Clay Ewing who makes his way off the field, it looks as though. And with no fourth official in these under-18 games, the linesman just taking on the role of ensuring that these substitutions are correctly made. Checking the boots of the players over on the far side as well. There are the 2 Palace players that it looks as though have been replaced. Referee just still holding things at the moment. The man coming on there for Liverpool is the number 14, Harry Evers, who it looks as though is going to operate in the left-back role in what's going to be a like-for-like change there for Liverpool. So Harry Evers comes on to replace Ewing. We'll confirm the Palace changes for you in just a moment, as that's a free kick given here for Liverpool, so more defending to do for Rob Quinn's side. The Palace changes then. Benjamin Casey and Zach Henry, the 2 withdrawn. And Jerome Asai and Joel Drakes-Thomas are the players to have come on. So Asai and Drakes-Thomas on for Casey and Henry. Claimed well there by Marcus Hill. And he quickly bowls the ball out to get the counter-attack set alight. Williams is furthest forward here for Palace. I think he'd held his run well enough and timed it right, but the pass wasn't quite right. And that, by the way, is actually a first appearance at this level, I should say, for Joel Drakes-Thomas with the under-18s team. Wearing the number 15 on this right wing. Dashi feeds it through. Opportunity here for Palace. And it was his fellow substitute Jerome Asai in an advanced role. Again, similar to the Benjamin Casey opportunity earlier on in the half, though, just smothered, wasn't he, by Bailey Hall. Hall in the Liverpool goal, that time out to meet Asai. Bounces out of play there for the Liverpool throw-in. Battle for possession there, centre field. The foul has been given. The referee, I think, initially pointing for that one the wrong way, but it was Ollie O'Connor who was taken to ground, so it is a Liverpool free kick. Here's Sonny Lambie with support of the overlapping run there from Harry Evers. The Liverpool substitute not able to make anything of it on that occasion. Long it goes from the back up towards Williams, who looks to just maybe taking it upon himself to try to support the attack, that front line, a little bit more in recent minutes, given that Palace are now, of course, chasing the game. Just seems to be pushing on to a more advanced midfield role a little bit. Comfortably helped back to Hill and neatly out to Walker-Smith. It's not when they have the ball that the problems are apparent, is it, for Palace? They're comfortable in keeping possession. They're good in creating opportunities, and they're certainly good in taking them the majority of the time in front of goal as well. Usually pretty clinical. It's just that defensive stability without the ball as a unit where things have gone a little bit awry for them so far this season, right from the opening day. Headed then from O'Connor. Ahmed out to Eamon. Overlap again is utilised here with Evers, but almost the same scenario as last time there, really, as he took a heavy touch and out it goes for the goal kick. Liverpool here with the ball again. Eamon turns away from the initial Palace pressure. Up against Tyler White. Delivers the cross there, Eamon. Deep delivery. Kept in play by Bradshaw, the scorer of the 4th Liverpool goal. He's won it back as well, having lost possession to begin with. Liverpool will go back towards their halfway mark and recycle possession. Lameni. Fortunate break back there to Marcus Hill. He rolls out to the feet of Williams. I think Palace would like to see him get on the ball a little bit more in midfield. Likes to dictate the game from sort of deep lying midfield role usually, as we've seen in previous games, but as I mentioned, he seems to be pushing forward more so here. If they can get him on the ball in those more advanced areas, then he could be the man who still has the key to unlock the Liverpool defence in these final 20 minutes. Only takes one moment, doesn't it? Only takes that one little bit of something special, or as was the case in the first half in Liverpool's favour, a Palace error. Could it be something similar in terms of a role reversal in this final 20 minutes now to see Palace get themselves back into the game? Asai after that one. Good goalkeeping again there though from Bailey Hall, who's on the large part been really solid in goal today for Liverpool. Here's Sonny Lambie. Cuts inside onto his right foot, goes for goal. They are on the rebound, it's going to be tucked away by Bradshaw. Not much more that Marcus Hill could have done there, really. It was a fine save again, but like was the case in the first half, it's another close-range finish on the rebound, and Joe Bradshaw has the latest 2 Liverpool goals. Things just going from bad to worse for Palace here this afternoon, as Joe Bradshaw adds goals numbers 4 and 5 in this second half. And could that now be that in terms of the 3 points being wrapped up for Liverpool? Excellent play out wide from Josh Sonny Lambie, the number 9, who just drifted into that wide left roll. Great strike on his right foot as well. An excellent save from Hill, who I think anticipated where it was going. Again, though, it was the Liverpool front line rather than the Palace back line that was quickest to react to that save. And Joe Bradshaw that time providing the finishing touches, just like Schofield Lameni did for the second Liverpool goal earlier. Kareem Ahmed it was, I beg your pardon, with the third on the rebound, wasn't it, in the first half. But a very similar sort of goal. Palace, again, conceding so many goals today. They really need to put a stop to just how many times their goal is being breached. Harry Evers has a problem here for Liverpool. The substitute seemed to be struggling with what looked as though it was initially a problem with cramp, but having just come on off a substitute's bench, that seems somewhat unlikely, so maybe more of a hamstring worry there for the Liverpool man. That's 28 goals that Palace have conceded now across 8 games in both the Premier League South Division for the under-18s and of course the Premier League Cup that they're playing in here today as well. 28 goals conceded across 8 games. They won't need telling that that's not a good enough defensive record. So the substitute has had to be substituted there, Harry Evers. His race is run after a short stint on the field. He's replaced by Luca Fernal-Gill for the visitors. It's the comfort of the situation that Mark Bridge-Wilkinson finds himself in today, then, really being able to call upon a range of players from his substitutes bench and perhaps dish out minutes where he previously hasn't been able to in the league fixtures that have proven to be more difficult for them. Here's Samade. Nicely taken there. Here's Williams now with the option to the right as well, but he goes for goal himself, and I think if he could have had that moment back, perhaps just with a rush of blood to the head there, taking aim from outside the penalty area, but certainly had the offer of Joel Drakes-Thomas to his right, the youngster. All young players, of course, aren't they, at this level, but Drakes-Thomas particularly young in that regard, making his first appearance for the under-18s. Later today, we will bring you coverage as well of the Palace under-21s trip to Brighton. 4 p.m. is the kick-off time for that one, down south at the Amex Elite Performance Centre. Also worth mentioning as well that tickets will soon be available for the under-21s game with Sporting Lisbon on Friday the 18th of October. Great to see that that one's being held at Selhurst Park. Tickets to be available from just £1. Palace on the attack here now. Aside, takes aim. Straight out the goalkeeper there, though. Going to take something more than that to beat Bailey Hall. Seems a goalkeeper with great prospect, really. Hasn't had to make a whole catalogue of saves today, as you might see in a compilation of saves from him in other games, but he just seems so assured and composed, both in possession and in terms of the more regular goalkeeping attributes as well, the Liverpool number one. Just to confirm as well that the latest change for Palace saw Kyrese Adams-Coleman make his entrance, and that's in place of Matteo Dashi, who was kind of on the fringe of things today, on the periphery, couldn't quite get into the game as we've seen from him in previous weeks. Certainly not as much as he has been, influencing and affecting games. We're into the final 10 minutes in a game which has now really got away from the hosts. Switch of play from right to left. Big old-fashioned up and under, wasn't it really, as Tyler White was beneath it to get his head to it. Williams twice winning that duel in the air in midfield. Here's George King. Slipped forward again, back into the path of King. Goes tumbling down, but it was the ball which was taken first by DJ Airsdale, the Liverpool right back. Now Eamon. Ahmed. That's again for Sonny Lambie, who seemingly likes to drift into this wide left position. It's from there that he created the latest Liverpool goal. Again, better defended against that time from Shaun Samade, who gets the goal kick rather than the corner at the end of it as well. When you think back to the penalty save that Marcus Hill made at the start of the second half, when the score was as it was at half-time, 3-2 in Liverpool's favour, it felt as though at that point it could prove to be a turning point in Palace's favour for the remainder of the game, but it hasn't turned out that way for them. Liverpool have continued to play the way in which they were in the second quarter of the game, really, in that first half. Palace, their best spells have definitely been at the start of both halves. Just struggled to maintain that level and keep it consistent throughout the whole of the 45, both before and after the break. Adams-Coleman, the latest substitute, not able to keep hold of possession there. Here's Ahmed, trying to wriggle free of King. Now Sonny Lambie. Sonny Lambie gets it back as well into the penalty area. Held up to begin with. Back here to Bradshaw on a hat-trick, remember now, for Liverpool. Touch on the chest allowed for the hooked clearance away from Derry. He'll be frustrated today, of course, given the scoreline, but in terms of not being able to influence the game as much as he has done in previous weeks as well. He's had to help out more so defensively as well, rather than being unleashed and given free rein going forwards down that left wing as he loves to do so. Here's Sonny Lambie now. Can he get a shot away? He can, but it's straight down the throat of Marcus Hill in the Palace goal. Rolled short to King. He pivots away from the initial pressure and keeps hold of possession as well. Did get his goal in the first half today, Jesse Derry, so he continues his goal-scoring form this season, but I'm sure if you'd have offered him a win without an individual goal for his own tally, I'm sure he would have taken that over adding another goal today, but being on the wrong end of a convincing 5-2 scoreline like this. 3-1 they lost last time out at Aston Villa, as I mentioned earlier. Before that it was a heavy 6-0 defeat to Fulham here at home. So it's going to be 3 rather negative results as the substitute Drakes Thomas got a shot away at goal on his left foot. Trying to make something happen in an attacking sense there. Looking ahead for Palace, and I'm sure the bounce back will come at some stage because of the quality that they have going forwards. They face Leicester up next as they turn their attention back to the league fixtures. Bit of a break until then, actually. So an opportunity to just regather their thoughts and reset things over the international break as well. As the opportunity is here to pull one back. Oh, it looks as though he should have shot for goal there. Asai was extremely unselfish in playing the pass to Jesse Derry. But why he didn't just shoot for goal himself, only he will know. Tried to provide the assist, but as I say, I think if he had that moment back, he just has to pull the trigger from there. What, 6 yards out? Changed the angle to kind of made the opportunity more difficult as well, didn't he, for Derry, instead of making it an easier opportunity. Any late goal at this stage would surely just prove to be a consolation for the Eagles. Swung right in towards the back post. And the header takes it out for a corner. It's a loaded penalty area again, isn't it? Plenty of Palace players forwards for it. Swung right the way towards the back post, and again it was a Palace man who got his head to it, George King, that time. And somewhat fortunate for Liverpool that it came off the back of their defender and out for another corner. And it's these sorts of spells in games which gives me the confidence as to Palace putting things right for their under-18s team this season. They're not playing at a low level, they're just not playing at this higher level consistently enough. I'm sure it'll come at some stage, as it did in the earlier spell this season with the back-to-back wins over Reading and Norwich. Need to get back to that sort of form at some point. Long and high from Bailey Hall into the centre circle. Here's Adams Coleman. Now Ahmed. So many misplaces that pass, which was meant for Bradshaw. We're going to see another substitution here. I think we are. It's going to be a change for Liverpool. Is it Bradshaw going off? He seems to be making his way over that side. Prince Cisse has made his introduction. It's going to be a double change in actual fact there for Liverpool. So Cisse, one of those coming on. It looks as though the two that have gone off there are Joe Bradshaw and Louis Enahoro Marcus, and the other players to come on for Liverpool. There is their number 15, Tyler Martin. So that completes the substitutes for the visitors today as well. Samade. White. Set back then by Jerome Aside, but he was backtracking from an offside position. Didn't really need to be in an offside position there either. Coming back towards the ball rather than looking to play on the shoulder. It's a little loose towards Cisse. Palace able to pounce and win the ball back. Drakes Thomas into the penalty area now for Asai, who should have shot earlier and did try to shoot there, but not with the conviction or quality that was required, really. Here's Sonny Lambie. The foul given for the pull back at the shirt. Worth noting as well, Palace fans, that Birmingham City are currently 2-1 up on Arsenal in the other game in the group. As I mentioned, that one kicked off at midday, so still the second half to be played there. But as it stands, with all four teams on 3 points, it has thrown this Group G really wide open ahead of match day 3. The offside flag is up here, but the referee hasn't seen it. And Palace therefore continue for the time being, and now the referee spots the flag and brings it all the way back for the free kick. Into stoppage time then at the end of the 90 minutes. Had that somewhat lengthy stoppage, didn't we, when Casey was down receiving treatment. We've had a whole lot of substitutes as well, really, in this second half, but with the scoreline at 5-2, and surely it is just a case of playing out these final few minutes before the 3 points are confirmed for Liverpool. We'll see how long the referee allows this game to continue for. Liverpool have never won this under-18 Premier League Cup competition, despite the obvious great stature of the club in its 11-year history. Haven't reached the final at all in any of those prior year competitions, in actual fact. Palace made it to the semi-final last season, which was the first time that the Eagles have made it beyond the group stage. And if indeed the group is to be thrown wide open, if Birmingham City can hold on to the lead that they have against Arsenal at the moment, then still the possibility remains for Palace to progress from this group if they can beat Arsenal in the third and final group game. Throw-in taken there into the feet of Eamon. Will the scoreline change before the final whistle? Palace looking to get a goal back. Seemed to be a Palace throw-in to me. Linesman, though, points in favour of Liverpool. Prince Cisse, who I know many have high hopes for coming through the Liverpool Academy. Youngster playing with the under-18s team now. Afforded a few minutes here at the end of this comfortable victory for them. O'Connor clips it forwards from that dead ball. He's done well there, the substitutes on debut, remember, Drake Thomas. Always difficult, isn't it, as well, to make your debut in these sort of circumstances. I'm sure he'd have much preferred to have come on in a game in which there were 3 goals to the good rather than chasing the game by 3. Here's Sonny Lambie. No real need to head towards the corner flag. Does just keep possession in the end via Alvin Ayman. Williams playing in a tight space there, and it's a Palace throw-in. Surely a delaying of the restart there from Liverpool's Cisse, but referee only with a couple of blows of the whistle and no further punishment for the Liverpool substitutes. Seemed a little bit unnecessary on his behalf as well, but leniency from the referee too. Here's Drake Thomas. And there is the full-time whistle. Not to be today for Palace, who, having been 2 goals up in the game, have ended it with a 5-2 defeat, and it's a comfortable margin of victory, isn't it, for the visitors, which didn't look likely at one point in that first half, and still at half-time it seemed as though Palace could claw their way back into the game, but it wasn't to be. And Liverpool with 5 goals, 2 of them from Joe Bradshaw in the second half, to really put this game too far away, too far ahead of Palace in terms of any potential second half comeback. So they're going to have to turn to their next fixture after the international break and look for a comeback there instead, and try to bounce back from these 3 straight defeats now, as it has turned out to be for Rob Quinn's team. Not the result that Palace wanted today, but for Liverpool, they'll be delighted with this 5-2 win for them as it finishes here at the Crystal Palace training ground. The full-time score is Palace 2, Liverpool 5.